600,000 acres burned in the spring 2007 fires of South Georgia and North Florida. In order to extrapolate the prognosis for the forests, scientists are looking back to the fire that, before this one, was Georgia's largest.
In the 1950s, when they had the big fires, which before this fire was the biggest fire in Georgia history, was that they had dips in lots of species populations for a couple years, and then afterwards they rebounded and did at least as well, if not, many of the species did a whole lot better after several years than they were before the fire.
You're going to see this ecosystem springing back in a lot of places and looking more like what it should look like as far as the natural areas go.
And in the industrial areas, there were a lot of lessons learned, particularly regarding prescribed burning and the intensity with which thick brush burns. But that is a fact of life and death around the land of the trembling earth, Okefenokee.
So people need to be prepared. They need to be more fire-wise and manage fuels around their homes. Industrial pine plantations, you're changing that ecosystem and putting a really highly flammable fuel in an area that's prone to fire.
For those whose forests suffered destruction, the recovery effort is well underway.
This is approximately about 115,000 acres of pine plantation and upland timber that was lost during the fire. But what normally happens here is we'll come in and do salvage, remove the trees that are commerciable, and be able to haul those to the mills to be able to get some type of revenue off of the trees. However, because the wood's burnt, it's bringing a very low price right now in southeast Georgia. And we'll come back in and start doing site prep work. What you see represented on this side of the road is a mechanical site prep operation in progress, where we'll take an area that was very similar to this. We did the salvage operations on it, removed all the commercial timber off of it. Now we're back in with heavy equipment doing the site prep, and we anticipate that we'll regenerate this in longleaf pine.
In the process of fighting the fire, hundreds of miles of fire breaks were cut into the forest.
As a biologist, it's gut-wrenching to watch that happen.
State forestry officials agree that the fire breaks, or as Castleberry describes them, superhighways, need to be reclaimed, smoothed out, and the water flow returned to nearly its natural state.
You know, by having the berms here, we've certainly changed the way the water flows into and out of the swamp and on the landscape altogether. So by opening this back up or smoothing it out, or at least opening up channels and returning the natural channels back the way they were as much as possible, is another reason that we need to get in and work down these berms and open them back up. We're looking in different directions at different possibilities of trying to come up with some type of funding to help us aid in doing this work.
As officials find the means to undo the damage caused by fighting the fires, wildlife is already on the mend, and their future, after these historical fires, looks very bright indeed.